Everybody, and welcome to Friday Apocryphal Podcast, your one-stop shop for everything Friday Apocryphal and podcast. And boy, do we have a show for you today. Together, we're covering 3rd Enoch, chapters 16 through 18.
Did you say together?
No.
He did.
I heard together.
I heard together. And together, Will. Yeah, it was interesting.
That did not occur.
We have a recording.
Well, we have a recording. I guess we'll find out. Maybe
I went like to...
He may have said that.
Okay, that is a perfectly
we heard
possible.
Together, but we were inferring it from
Yeah.
That's more likely.
You guys just hear phonemes that aren't there?
No, we fill in the blank.
Yeah, that's hearing phonemes that aren't there.
Yeah, that's a pretty normal thing, isn't it?
And maybe if you have some kind of hearing disease.
No, I mean like your brain fills stuff in for you.
Sometimes.
Well, pretty often.
Yeah. Anyways, so today we got a list of angels. Now some of it changes from time to time. So just looking ahead, the list seems to be really, really repetitive, and then it goes into something else, which is also repetitive, but in a different way. So we're going to learn about a lot of angels.
Well, that's great. I have the Books of Enoch complete edition, including 1st Enoch, the Ethiopian Book of Enoch, 2nd Enoch, the Sylvanic Secrets of Enoch, and 3rd Enoch, the Hebrew Book of Enoch, by Paul C. Schneiders, translated by R.H. Charles.
And I have the Old Testament Pseudepigrapha. This is volume 1 on apocalyptic literature and testaments from... Oh, my God. New translations from authoritative texts with introductions and critical notes by an international team of scholars.
Edited by James H. Charlesworth.
Yes, it is edited by James H. Charlesworth. And I think the section on 3rd Enoch was from... James H. Charlesworth as well, wasn't it?
No, it's by P something.
Oh, right, P. Alexander.
Yeah, P. Alexander.
Yeah, that's right. Okay. I just remember we had a book recently where it was Charlesworth.
Yeah.
All right. So, anyways, we are going to have a little bit of a narrative section, and which I guess Ruben will take over that part, and then we get to the angelic hierarchy. Can't wait for that.
Yeah, and it's going to be incredible. You know what? This chapter I'm about to read, chapter 16, is noted as probably additional.
Oh, okay. Good, good.
So,
probably second. I have some stuff on that, actually.
Wow.
So, yeah, probably additional to chapters 3 through 15. It runs counter to the whole tenor of the foregoing description of the role of Metatron.
But it doesn't run counter to the alto.
All right, I'll see all of you guys later. I'm done here. And is probably aimed at minimizing his powers. Now, of course, if you kept up with us before,
he's huge, fiery, many-winged, many-eyed monstrosity.
Fires. Not just he is made of fire, but like every part of his body transformed into fire, and all the fires were described differently.
Yeah, and basically he's set up as second only to Yahweh.
Essentially, yeah. So this guy has got a lot of powers.
Now, Justin, you're
and
going to get to hear about these super godly beings. Don't worry. That's
you
what
will.
we're talking about today.
Yeah, we got a whole slew of godly beings. So
yeah, and actually he is the Lesser Yahweh.
Yeah, Lesser Yahweh is the title. Yep.
He's Metatron.
Still very powerful, and apparently all the other angels are afraid of him and prostrate themselves to him and all that.
Basically, Metatron is the final boss, and Yahweh is the true final boss.
There you go. Yeah.
So, chapter 16, Metatron, divested of his privilege of presiding on a throne of his own on account of Acker's misapprehension in taking him for a second divine power.
What a title.
Yeah.
Just tell us everything about it. Everything in the title, why don't you?
Oh, I just did.
I got another one for you. Metatron dethroned.
That's boring.
That didn't tell me anything about it.
Oh, sorry, guys.
So let's get into this. Rabbi Ishmael said, Metatron, the angel, the prince of the presence, the glory of all heaven, said to me, at first, I was sitting upon a great throne at the door of the seventh hall, and I was judging the children of heaven, the household on high by authority of the Holy One, blessed be he. And I divided greatness, kingship, dignity, rulership, honor, and praise, and diadem, and crown of glory unto all the princes of kingdoms, while I was presiding, literally sitting, in the celestial court, Yeshiva. And the princes of the kingdoms were standing before me, on my right and on my left, by authority of the Holy One, blessed be he. But when Acher came to behold the vision of the Merkaba and fixed his eyes on me, he feared and trembled before me, and his soul was affrighted, even unto departing from him, because of fear, horror, and dread of me, when he beheld me sitting upon a throne like a king, with all the ministering angels standing by me as my servants, and all the princes of kingdoms adorned with crowns surrounding me. In that moment, he opened his mouth and said, Indeed, there are two divine powers in heaven. Forthwith, Bath Kol, the divine voice, went forth from heaven from before the Shekinah and said, Return, ye backsliding children, Jeremiah 3:22, except Acher.
So
who's this guy?
Okay, so Acher, I'm guessing that is the pronunciation. So some manuscripts have Acher, some have Elisha ben Abuya, and some of the sections say, some of the manuscripts say that he was standing before Yahweh when he's introduced. So it says when Acher came to behold, that section initially.
Mm-hmm.
Some manuscripts have Elisha ben Abuya, and he stood behind Yahweh. So he was so Elisha ben oh my God, this name Abuya, thank you. Was a Palestinian scholar of the late 1st and early 2nd centuries. He was one of the 4 who entered parties, according to I think it's Haggadah. He came to be regarded as the arch heretic and was referred to contemptuously as Acher, which means another. So there you go. This is a different figure that's being referred to that apparently was some heretic,
Palestinian heretical scholar.
Yeah, and this was, I guess, the author's way of throwing shade at them.
Mm-hmm. Then Aniel, the prince, the honored, glorified, beloved, wonderful, revered, and fearful one, in commission from the Holy One, blessed be he, and gave me 60 strokes with lashes of fire and made me stand on my feet.
So
why would this fire hurt him? He's made of fire.
He is.
Are they fighting fire with fire?
Yeah, actually they are. They are. So apparently Gabriel in some rabbinic literature is punished with 40 lashes of fire, which is interesting. You would think that they would not be really affected by that. But either way. So
everyone out there, in heaven, capital punishment exists, and it's delivered through fire whips that are used by angels. And
but it looks like it's only used on the angels.
I mean,
which also isn't great. But
well, Metatron.
So
he is an angel.
Yeah,
but he's a different kind of angel.
That is true.
Now, with Gabriel being lashed, that's another kind of. So I guess this applies to angels.
So I'm still wondering Okay, so then he opened his mouth and said, "There are indeed two powers in heaven." Immediately, a divine voice came out from the presence of the Shekinah and said, "Come back to me, apostate sons, apart from Acher." So this is okay. So was this voice then referring? Was it trying to insinuate that Metatron was Acher, or I'm not sure why he would be dethroned here.
He's dethroned because someone else thinks that he's a divine power.
Oh, I see. Okay. I guess that might be it. Yeah.
Yeah. So, okay.
That's
It doesn't really make a lot of sense.
no, it doesn't. Yeah, I'm still lost on why he would be punished for any of this and why God wouldn't. Well, apparently it was at the command of the Holy One
We should
that he
make
did this.
we should make T-shirts. Metatron did nothing wrong.
Metatron did nothing wrong. Okay.
Yep.
I mean, I am curious as to what he did do wrong, actually. So
He didn't do anything wrong.
yeah.
He was just doing what he was told to do, and then some other dude did something wrong, I guess.
Apparently.
He didn't even do anything wrong. He was just confused, basically.
Oh, yeah. Well, he was, so he was, judging the princes, and then someone. Oh, okay. So then another angel, I'm guessing. Okay. So another angel then calls out and says that there are two powers in heaven.
No.
Oh, sorry.
Acher says this.
Right. Acher says it.
And he's just like some dude, some heretic.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah, I guess. Okay.
Great. Isn't that wonderful?
So maybe it's just the fact that somebody observes how powerful another force is in the heavens, even a heretic can see that there are now two powers in the heavens. He's rivaling God. Maybe that's the problem. I don't know.
Well,
Acher is being described here as being in the heavens.
He's a heretic.
yeah. Well,
I mean, it's referring to a heretic, but like in this narrative world, it's probably not referring to.
it's not referring to an angel.
But
It's
it's
certainly not. This is just some dude who's
Oh,
having
yeah,
a
this is-
Merkaba vision.
yeah, you're right. Okay.
So, and they don't even do. So with Metatron here, all they do is give him lashes and make him stand on his feet so he doesn't have a throne.
Oh, you know what? Okay, so Acher sees this vision and he says like, "Oh, here's the second power in heaven," and then he starts preaching the second power. But then apparently, because people now think, some amount of people think that there are two powers in heaven, that there are like two gods or something. Apparently, Metatron has to be the one punished for that, not Acher. But apparently, Metatron, it is somehow his fault that Acher has this interpretation of his vision.
Because even a heretic can see how overpowered Metatron has become.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but Yahweh is literally the one who gave him all of the power and
He
the
did.
presentation. Wouldn't
And
he
he's
have the
also going to
foresight?
punish him for that
To
power.
to think that somebody that would at some point look upon Metatron would be like, "Oh, this is God power right here." Like, yeah, of course, you would think that he would have the foresight for that.
Apparently, Yahweh's just stupid.
He's really not thinking ahead.
I did not think this out.
Yeah, apparently.
But they don't even remove any of his powers or
No, they just
his
hit him a
command.
bunch of
they
times.
just hit him with fire and make him stand instead of sit on a throne.
Essentially, yeah.
All right, moving on.
Chapter 17.
So he's not confused with God, I guess.
Yeah. The princes of the seven heavens of the sun, moon, planets, and constellations, and their suites of angels. Rabbi Ishmael said, Metatron the angel, the prince of the presence, the glory of all heavens, said to me, 7 are the princes, the great, beautiful, revered, wonderful, and honored ones who are appointed over the 7 heavens, and these are they. Now, A says, Mikhail, Gabriel, Shetkiel, Shakakiel, Bakariel, Badariel, Pakriel, whereas D says, Mikhail and Gabriel, Shaktiel and Baradiel, and Shakakiel and Barakiel and Sidriel.
Yeah. I also have Sidriel.
And every one of them is the prince of the host of one heaven, and each one of them is accompanied by 496,000 myriads of ministering angels.
Yeah, again, we get these exaggerated numbers. They're enormous. We had that with like everything in this book.
Yeah.
Pretty much. Like every number, if it's not enormous, has a manuscript variation that is enormous.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But the best one, though, is the 4,000 mile tall statues.
Yeah.
That's still the best one.
And bringing down the celestial bodies.
That too, that whole portion.
It's a bit nuts.
Yeah.
Mikhail, the great prince, is appointed over the seventh heaven, the highest one, which is in the Araboth. Gabriel, the prince of the host, is appointed over the sixth heaven, which is in Makan. Shatakiel, prince of the host, is appointed over the fifth heaven, which is in Ma'on. Shahakiel, prince of the host, is appointed over the fourth heaven, which is in Zabul. Badariel, prince of the host, is appointed over the third heaven, which is in Shehakim. Barakiel, prince of the host, is appointed over the second heaven, which is in the height of Merom, Rakia. Pazriel, prince of the host, is appointed over the first heaven, which is in Wailon, which is in Shamaim. Under them is Galgaliel, the prince who is appointed over the globe, Galgal, of the sun, and with him are 96 great and honored angels who move the sun in Rakia.
Yeah, so the under them is Galgaliel, the angels who move the heavenly bodies.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, are
now we know
subordinate to the angels of the seven heavens.
Well, we know from First Enoch that the heavenly bodies, at least the sun and moon, are carried by chariots.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess this would be them.
I suppose so.
Under them is Ophaniel, the prince who is set over the globe, Ophan, of the moon. And with him are 88 angels who move the globe of the moon 354,000 parasangs every night at the time when the moon stands in the east and at its turning point. And when...
Wait, hold on. So for the Galgaliel, did you have a number of angels? I must have missed it.
Number of angels?
Yeah.
Of the sun, and with him are 96 great
96.
and honored angels who move the sun in Rakia. Yeah.
Okay. Did you have how much they move it?
No.
Okay. Because I have 365,000 parasangs.
Oh.
Yeah. So there's another one of those incredibly large numbers.
It's 365,000 as well, which has been used a lot.
Yeah.
Yep. And when is the moon sitting in the east at its turning point? Answer: in the 15th day of every month.
Wow.
Whoa.
That was a weird way to phrase it. Under them is Rahatiel, the prince who is appointed over the constellations, and he is accompanied by 72 great and honored angels. And why is he called Rahatiel? Because he makes the stars run Marhit in their orbits and courses 339,000 parasangs every night from the east to west and from the west to east. For the Holy One, blessed be he, has made a tent for all of them, for the sun, the moon, the planets, and the stars in which they travel at night from west to the east.
So, so why is his name Rahatiel? I have, it's pretty much the same, but just I have an amount actually here. Because he makes the constellations run 339,000 parasangs in their cycles and orbits each night.
All right.
Of course.
You got to get that. Very specific.
Under them is Cockbiel, the prince who is appointed over all the planets.
Nice. Cockbiel.
Yep.
That's pretty good.
And with him are 365,000 myriads of ministering angels, great and honored ones who move the planets from city to city and from province to province in the Rakia of heavens.
I bet
Waste of angels.
they really like his Kakbiel.
And over them are 72 princes of kingdoms on high, corresponding to the 72 tongues of the world. And all of them are crowned with royal crowns and clad in royal garments and wrapped in royal cloaks. And all of them are riding on royal horses, and they are holding royal scepters in their hands. And before each one of them, when he is traveling in Rakia, royal servants are running with great glory and majesty. Now, according to A, it goes on to say, even as on earth, they, princes, are traveling in chariots with horsemen and great armies, and in glory and greatness with praise, song, and honor. Whereas D says, and before every one of them, when traveling in Rakia, there are running great armies, even as the custom is on earth, with chariots in glory and greatness, praise, song, and honor.
And one note that I did want to throw on there. So did you have 70 or 72 tongues there?
72.
72, okay. Yes, 72 is the translation that's used. Sometimes it does say 70, and it would be based on the count of the names in the Table of Nations in Genesis 10. But the normal rabbinic interpretation there, the reckoning, I guess, is 70.
Yep. And that is the end of chapter 17. Now, Lawrence, I'll just close this.
Are you?
Because
what about all the variations between?
There's no manuscript variations noted.
What about all the variations, Reuben?
What variations?
Okay, listen. Chapter 18 is a huge list of angels, and we do kind of swap between types of descriptions, but there's a lot. So let's hop into it, I guess. Right?
Mm-hmm. Why don't you read this list to me?
I will. You're welcome. Rabbi Ishmael said, Metatron, prince of the divine presence.
Wait, you don't have a header?
Sorry, an angelic hierarchy.
The order of ranks of the angels and the homage received by the higher ranks from the lower ones.
Yeah, that's
okay.
So helpful.
It's a hierarchy.
Yeah.
Rabbi Ishmael said, Metatron, prince of the divine presence, the glory of the highest heaven said to me, the angels of the first heaven, when they see their prince, they dismount from their horses and fall prostrate. That's a very different word.
Yes, it is.
The prince of the first heaven, when he sees the prince of the second heaven, he removes the glorious crown from his head and falls prostrate. The prince of the second heaven, when he sees the prince of the third heaven, he removes the glorious crown from his head and falls prostrate. The prince of the third heaven, when he sees the prince of the fourth heaven, he removes the glorious crown from his head and falls prostrate. The prince of the fourth heaven, when he sees the prince of the fifth heaven, he removes the glorious crown from his head and falls prostrate. The prince of the fifth heaven, when he sees the prince of the sixth heaven, he removes the glorious crown from his head and falls prostrate. The prince of the sixth heaven, when he sees the prince of the seventh heaven, he removes the glorious crown from his head and falls prostrate.
Oh, keep going.
Yeah, we're looking forward to how many more there are.
The prince of the seventh heaven, when he sees the 72 princes of kingdoms, he removes the glorious crown from his from his head and falls prostrate.
Way to go.
You know, these words are starting to lose meaning, guys.
It's what happens.
There's a lot more, Laura.
I know. Oh my God. Okay. The 72 princes of kingdoms, when they see the guardians of the door of the first palace, which is in Arabat, the highest heaven, they remove the kingly crowns from their heads and fall prostrate. The guardians of the door of the first palace, when they see the guardians of the door of the second palace, they remove their glorious crowns from their heads and fall prostrate. The guardians of the doors of the second palace, when they see the guardians of the door of the third palace, they remove their glorious crowns and fall prostrate. The guardians of the door of the third palace, when they see the guardians of the door of the fourth palace, they remove their glorious crowns and fall prostrate. The guardians of the door of the fourth palace, when they see the guardians of the door of the fifth palace, they remove their glorious crowns and fall prostrate. The guardians of the door of the fifth palace, when they see the guardians of the door of the sixth palace, they remove their glorious crowns and fall prostrate. The guardians of the door of the sixth palace, when they see the guardians of the door of the seventh palace, they remove their glorious crowns and fall prostrate.
Wonder what happens
The
next.
guardians of the door of the seventh palace, when they see the four great and honored princes who are in charge of the four camps of the Shekinah, they remove their glorious crowns and fall prostrate. This is horrible.
Yeah, but I didn't see any of that coming, except for the ones that I did.
Oh, it keeps going.
When does it get to God?
Meh.
Okay.
You remember those 365,000?
Yeah, here they are.
Yep.
We're going to list every single one of them and the grains of hair on their heads.
Hey. Yeah. The four great princes, when they see Tagas, the prince, great and honored in song and praise at the head of all the celestials, they remove the glorious crowns from their heads and fall prostrate. So this Tagas, any kind of commentary will do here. Many of the angelic names in this chapter occur again in Hekala Rabati. The vocalization of most of them is uncertain, and there are numerous variants. The forms followed in the text are those of B. The meanings of many of the names are obscure, and some of them are undoubtedly corrupt. Yeah, great. Okay, so...
Oh, boy. So really, we don't know.
We don't know.
We don't know.
Nice. It looks like there are a couple manuscript variations when it comes to these names, but it's really not that much different aside from a couple letters, it looks like.
Okay.
So...
Keep going, Lawrence.
Oh, I will. Tagas, the great and honored prince, when he sees Baratiel, the great prince, upon the tops of whose fingers Arabat is spread out. Holy shit, that's heaven. Mm-hmm. It's on his fingers.
Yep.
He removes the glorious crown from his head and falls prostrate.
Wouldn't he do that all day, every day, if he's in heaven?
I don't know.
Probably.
Yep.
Yeah, there's, aside from a one single manuscript variation, there's not really much to say about that.
Great.
It being on his fingers. Baratiel, the great prince, when he sees Hamon, the great, terrible, honored, beautiful, and dreaded prince, who makes all the denizens of the heights quake when the time comes to recite the Kedusha, as it is written, at the voice of Hamon, the peoples flee. When you arise, the nations scatter. He removes the glorious crown from his head and falls prostrate.
Isaiah 33:3.
Okay. Thank you. So this is like very, it's a warlike angel, I'm guessing here.
I guess.
It would have to be, right?
Sure.
Haman,
It's terrible, though.
the great prince, when he sees Tatrasiel Yahweh, that's the part of the title, by the way. Tatrasiel Yahweh, the great prince, he removes the glorious crown from his head and falls prostrate. Tatrasiel Yahweh, the great prince, when he sees Atrugiel Yahweh, the great prince, he removes the glorious crown from his head and falls prostrate. Atrugiel Yahweh, the great prince, when he sees Naariel Yahweh, the great prince, he removes the glorious crown from his head and falls prostrate.
Oh, yours is just Naariel?
Oh, sorry. Naaririel.
Needed.
Naaririel Yahweh, the great prince, when he sees Sasnigiel Yahweh, the great prince, he removes the glorious crown from his head and falls prostrate. Sasnigiel Yahweh, the prince. I swear, that sounds like a name straight out of Futurama.
Yeah.
Sasnigiel Yahweh, the prince, when he sees Zazriel Yahweh, the great prince, he removes the glorious crown from his head and falls prostrate. Zazriel Yahweh, the prince, when he sees Gabratiel Yahweh, the prince, he removes the glorious crown from his head and falls prostrate. Gabratiel Yahweh, the prince, when he sees Arapiel Yahweh, the prince, he removes the glorious crown from his head and falls prostrate. Arapiel Yahweh, the prince, when he sees Ashroilu Yahweh, the prince, he removes the glorious crown from his head and falls prostrate.
Oh, they don't give you details on Ashruilu?
No.
Oh, the prince who presides in all the seasons, all the sessions of the children of heaven.
Okay.
All their sessions. Okay.
Yep. I guess they're legal sessions.
Maybe. Wish we had more info on that.
Yeah, it would be nice. You don't even have that reference.
No. Ashroilu Yahweh, the prince, the head. Oh, there it is. The head of every session of the Heavenly Academy.
Oh, he's a teacher.
Yeah. Literally the head of every session or chapter of the denizens of the heights. The rabbinical Hebrew perek and the Jewish Aramaic pirka can be used in the sense of a session of an academy. All right, fair enough. It is possible. So wait, hold on. So there's a quotation here from some rabbinical text. I visited the session pirka of Rabbi Phineas. Apparently that was we have Rosh HaPerek was a title of the heads of academies in the Gaonic era. Lem reads here, the head of the students of the Heavenly Academy. There is a manuscript that omits the clause altogether. Okay, so it is possible, however, that the text means nothing more than the most honored of the Celestials. And it seems that there is a reference here to Deuteronomy. We too, or maybe this is a rabbinical text on Deuteronomy. We too are aware of your good deeds, and we have made you head of the chapter. And it's the word that's used there is Rosh Perek.
Okay. Keep going.
Oh, I will do. So Ashroilu Yahweh, the prince, the head of every session of the Heavenly Academy, when he sees Galasher Yahweh, the prince, who reveals all the secrets of the Torah, he removes the glorious crown from his head and falls prostrate. Galasher Yahweh, the prince, when he sees Zakzakiel Yahweh, the prince, who is appointed to record the merits of Israel upon the throne of glory, he removes the glorious crown from his head and falls prostrate. It looks like we're getting up there, though.
Yeah.
I thought we were up there with the Shekinah, but I guess we weren't.
Nope.
Nah, I don't think you're up there yet.
Nope.
You just said an academy.
Oh, damn, you're right. Zakzakiel Yahweh, the great prince, when he sees Anapiel Yahweh, the prince, who keeps the keys of the palaces of the heaven of Arabot, he removes the glorious crown from his head and falls prostrate.
Okay, the janitor. Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Why is his name called Anapiel? Because the bow of his majesty, glory, crown, brilliance, and splendor overshadows all the chambers of Arabot, the highest heaven, like the glory of the creator of the world, as it is written of the creator of the world. His majesty veils the heavens, and the earth is filled with glory. Habakkuk 3:3. So does the majesty and glory of Anapiel Yahweh, the prince, overshadow all the chambers of the highest Arabot.
Wow. Well, we actually get some details about this one.
We do. But also, why is he just as splendid as God?
Just because he has the same function in this one specific matter.
Okay. Anapiel Yahweh, the prince, when he sees Sotarasiel Yahweh, the great, terrible, and honored prince, he removes the glorious crown from his head and falls prostrate. Why is his name called Soterasiel? Because he is appointed to serve in the divine presence over the four heads of the river of fire, opposite the throne of glory.
We got that detail in First Enoch, how there was a river of fire.
Yeah. Opposite the throne of glory, and any prince who wishes to leave or to enter the presence of the Shekinah may do so only by his permission, because the seals of the four heads of the river of fire are entrusted to his keeping. Further, he is called Soterasiel because his height is 70,000 myriads of parasangs, and he stirs up the fire of the river of fire, and he leaves and enters the presence of the Shekinah to explain the records concerning the inhabitants of the earth. As it is written, a court was held, and the books were opened.
Daniel 7:10.
Yeah.
So we got Inferno Titan over here.
And he is the one that's going to and from heaven to report things that are happening.
And you can also only enter into this presence with his permission.
Apparently so, yeah. Soterasiel Yahweh, the prince, when he sees... Oh, my God.
Shoked Chosi.
So, is that it? Shoked... Yes, Shokachosi, Yahweh, the great, mighty, terrible, and honored prince, he removes the glorious crown from his head and falls prostrate. Why is his name called Shokadozi?
Shokachosi.
Shokachosi. Because he weighs men's merits in scales in the presence of the Holy One, blessed be he.
Wow.
So an actual, like, judge of character.
He has...
Maybe we're getting up
he
there
weighs your soul against
Yeah.
this feather.
Yeah,
Right?
I heard it was from a feather, yeah.
Yeah.
Gotta remember Shokachosi, guys.
Shokachosi, Yahweh, the prince, when he sees Zahanpuryu, Yahweh, the prince, great, mighty, honored, glorified, and dreaded in the whole heavenly household, he removes the glorious crown from his head and falls prostrate. Why is his name called Zahanpuryu? Because he is angry at the river of fire and quenches it in its place.
Mine says because he rebukes the fiery river and pushes it back to its place.
So I'm looking for any kind of...
I'm guessing this means that he controls like the movement of the river of fire.
Or he's the force that balances it or something.
I guess, yeah. Can't really...
He's
I'm
a
not
judge
really
with
sure.
scales. He might be a balancing force. I don't know. That's just
He's...
or is that the last guy?
That's
That was the last
guy.
Ah, shit, then I don't really know anything about this guy other than he stops the river of fire from advancing. That's what it says, right?
He doesn't... Yeah, he says that he's angry at the river of fire and he quenches it in its place. So he's not... he's unhappy with the river of fire, apparently.
His whole function is in heaven is to be pissed off at the river of fire.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I guess. Zahanpuryu Yahweh, the prince...
His leadership's jacked.
When
guys.
he sees as Boga Yahweh, the prince, great, mighty, terrible, honored, glorified, wonderful, beloved, and dreaded among the princes who know the secrets of the throne of glory, he removes the glorious crown from his head and falls prostrate. Why is his name called as Boga? Because he girds men with garments of life, and in time to come, he will wrap the righteous and pious of the world in robes of life, so that clad in them, they may enjoy eternal life. So essentially, he is the one that I think this might stem from.
He's heaven's tailor
or new body maker.
and laundromat.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, he dresses them in their heavenly bodies. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that stuff did come up a lot later, like where the interpretation would be like they were wrapped up in heaven. And
Well,
of course,
this is like when Enoch in Second Enoch was given angelic clothing.
yeah, it's like that. Except I think this might be just more of a general afterlife kind of thing.
Yeah.
As Boga Yahweh, the prince, when he sees the two great sovereign and honored princes who stand above him, he removes the glorious crown from his head and falls prostrate. These are the oh my God.
Hey, didn't you like Chronicles?
Loved it. It was horrible. These are the names. Oh, there are only two. Ha! These are the names of the two princes. Sopuriel Yahweh, who puts to death the great, honored, glorified, pure, ancient, and mighty prince. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And Sopuriel. So they're two different ones.
Yeah, they have the
but
same
they're both
name.
named, yeah.
There's one who kills and one who
Makes
gives
alive.
life. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, who makes alive the great, honored, glorified, pure, ancient, and mighty prince. Why is the name of the one called Sopuriel Yahweh who puts to death? Because he's in charge of the books of the dead. For he records the books of the dead. So, hold on. For he records in the books of the dead everyone whose day of death has come. Why is the name of the other called Sopuriel Yahweh who makes alive? Because he is in charge of the books of the living. For he records in the books of the living everyone whom the Holy One, blessed be he, is pleased to bring into life by authority of the omnipresent one, so that you should not suppose that since the Holy One, blessed be he, sits on the throne, they too sit and write. Scripture states the whole host of heaven stood beside him. It does not say host of heaven, but the whole host of heaven, which teaches that even the great princes who are without peer in the heavenly height only attend to the needs of the Shekinah while standing.
Wow, that's different because mine says the scripture teaches us, and all the host of heaven are standing by him. The host of heaven, it is said, in order to show us that even the great princes, none like whom there is in the high heavens, do not fulfill the request of the Shekinah otherwise than standing. So yours looks like it's outright trying to correct mine.
I suppose so. Very, very specifically.
Huh.
That's good stuff. I like it. I really like it.
Yeah.
Okay. So here's a interesting.
liking.
I have an interesting question for you, and it's the very next line. Yeah, you, Chris.
Whoa.
And it's the very next line of this book.
Pressure, guys.
But how can they write while standing?
With their legs and their hands.
Clipboard.
Against the
I don't
wall,
understand
against
any
the
of
wall,
this.
against somebody's back.
I don't.
Look,
Those
they're
can't possibly
gonna
answer.
describe this situation
All right.
to you, Lawrence.
Okay.
All right, great. How can
okay.
they write while standing? The one stands upon wheels of storm. The other stands upon wheels of storm.
Okay.
Okay, this one says one is standing on the wheels of the tempest and the other is standing on the wheels of the storm wind.
So, what?
Huh?
I guess the
Are they trying to draw small distinctions here?
no. And actually it's going to be basically the same thing for each of these things. I think the point is that
They're exactly the same.
they're exactly the same.
Okay. The one is clothed.
That being life and death are exactly the same.
Yeah.
Nothing's new under the sun.
Exactly. That is-
Meaningless. Completely meaningless.
couldn't agree more. The one is clothed in a royal robe. The other is clothed in a royal robe. The one is wrapped in a cloak of majesty. The other is wrapped in a cloak of majesty. The one wears a kingly crown. The other wears a kingly crown. The body of the one is full of eyes. The body of the other is full of eyes. The appearance of the one is like lightning. The appearance of the other is like lightning. The eyes of the one are like the sun in its strength. The eyes of the other one are like the sun in its strength. The splendor of the one is as the splendor of the throne of glory. The splendor of the other is as the splendor of the throne of glory. The height of the one is as the seven heavens. The height of the other is as the seven heavens. The wings of the one are as the days of the year. The wings of the other are as the days of the year. The wings of the one are as the breath of a heaven. The wings of the other are as a breath of a heaven. The lips of the one are like the gates of the east. The lips of the other are like the gates of the east. The tongue of the one is as high as the sea's waves. The tongue of the other is as high as the sea's waves. This is...
It keeps going,
Keep
Lawrence.
going, buddy.
Having fun?
Yes.
I am.
All the fun.
Probably at your expense.
This is the best. From the mouth of the one, flames issue. From the mouth of the other, flames issue. From the mouth of the one, lightnings shoot out. From the mouth of the other, lightnings shoot out. From the sweat of the one, fire is kindled. From the sweat of the other, fire is kindled.
Ooh, I have a variant.
Do you?
From the sweat of the one, fire is kindled. And from the perspiration of the other, fire is kindled.
Wow. The tongue of the one is a blazing torch. The tongue of the other is a blazing torch. On the head of the one is a sapphire stone. On the head of the other is a sapphire stone. On the shoulder of one is the wheel of a swift cherub. On the shoulder of the other is the wheel of a swift cherub. In the hand of the one is a burning scroll. In the hand of the other is a burning scroll. In the hand of the one is a pen of flame. In the hand of the other is a pen of flame. The length of the scroll is 3,000 myriads of parasangs. The height of the pen is 3,000 parasangs. And the height of each single letter that they write is 365 parasangs.
What are these absurdist terms?
Well, that's
We know parasangs are pretty big.
unit
so
of measurement. They're way bigger. Obviously, these are huge angels, but
yeah.
apparently they're exactly the same.
Clearly.
And
They're twins.
they are twins.
Could have they just said that instead of everything twice?
That wouldn't be as forceful. It wouldn't be as emphasized.
Why couldn't...
Why
Okay,
don't
so
you
who
sweat
do
or
these
perspirate over
guys take off their crowns and fall prostrate to? They don't.
They do, it looks like.
Do they?
Holy shit.
When?
Does it continue on here? Oh, no, apparently they don't.
See?
I think, yeah, eventually it just gets to Yahweh. Then we get more angels.
Ugh.
What? Keep going. I'm excited now.
Well, the thing is, it
This is all we were going to read today.
yeah, the thing is, it does, there is more
Well, shit.
stuff to it, but it goes into some more specific angels, it looks like. And
Are we done reading today? That was
I mean,
it?
we could continue.
No, I mean, like, that's 18.
Yeah, but we can just change the title.
I'm good.
But we can't change what we said at the beginning.
Yeah.
That's true, but the title,
Yeah, I can't
Can be
change what you
different.
said at the beginning.
Yeah, I'm good.
okay, fair enough.
That's enough parasings of wings for today. We'll cover more third Enoch, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
And you can leave it off at a note where you're like, I have no idea where this is going.
So that was painful.
And
Yes.
kind of interesting.
It was still painful.
Yeah.
Yeah, there wasn't really much to say
Did you
about
know
this.
that the Prince of the First Heaven, when he sees the Prince of the Second Heaven, he takes the glorious crown from off his head and falls prostrate?
Did you know
Did
that
you know
it
that he
must?
prostrates his crown and falls over?
Did you know that it must suck to be the angel of the first heaven?
Yeah, he seemed high up.
He's at the
no,
bottom of
no.
the list.
He only has to bow to one person. It doesn't say
Oh,
man,
fair enough.
It's the
and
chain of
every
command.
angel who's above these people.
Right, but wouldn't it make sense?
No,
No.
this is one of those chain of command things where you only report
Bow
to the
to one
person
guy.
who's just above you.
Yep.
Okay.
And it's that convoluted. It was this
well, hold
convoluted.
up.
We're
Hold-
not done yet either.
That would be stupid because then only one being worships God.
Yes.
Yep.
So that would be stupid.
And it's Metatron.
And it's Metatron.
See,
Fair
that-
enough.
See next week if it's Metatron. Probably Metatron.
We'll find out how many more angels there are that fall prostrate.
Hundreds of thousands.
Apparently, but maybe we'll get all their names.
You can read it.
Fantastic.
And there's Zakukakal. There's Lamduzakakambol. And there's Lawrence Yahweh.
What about Ruben Chris Lawrencel?
Yahweh.
Yeah, what about that one?
Oh, well, that one,
It's a bad T-shirt.
he has to bow prostrate to,
Susan Wojcicki.
yeah, Landon Yahweh.
Oh yeah, there's a good one. There's a good one. All right, but yeah, that's the end of the show for today. Thanks for joining us. We know that it was basically just a long list. Not really much more to say.
Not the most exciting chapters.
No.
I mean, we at least got a description of some big angels.
Some weird hierarchy function.
Yeah, and everyone is worshiping everyone else, and it sucks to be the first guy. So
Yep.
that's as much as we can say. Thanks for joining us. And let's see, what stuff do we have to shill out? We got
Patreon, Amazon wish list, t-shirts on Teespring, pinned t-shirt. T-shirt is pinned. It's pinned. It's a pinned t-shirt. You can pin the t-shirt on the pin.
I did it.
and make sure to do all the stuff on the screen right here. Like, share, and subscribe, because all that stuff really helps us out.
Facebook, Twitter, ring the bell.
Yeah, stuff's really, really good. Really good.
Email.
Ringing the bell is nice.
MilwaukeeAtheists@gmail.com.
All links are in the description. We'll see you on Sunday. We got Landon on, I think, right?
Oh,
Maybe.
cool.
Or is that next week? I don't know.
Oh, it's something.